So we need to talk about the next 3 weeks in Port Charles. March 30 to April 17 is going to be a massive collision of every single storyline we have been watching for months, and it is a lot to process. Because the spoilers are pointing to some really dark and twisted moments that are going to change the canvas completely, but we have to break it down, because Danny Morgan is about to go on a mission. And that mission is going to push Rocco Falconeri right to the edge of a total mental breakdown. Plus, we have Ethan Lovett coming back to town, which is huge. And it leads to some really stunning moments that nobody is going to see coming. So, let's just get right into all the action. Because there is no time to waste here. The week of March 30 to April 3 kicks off with absolute chaos in the hospital. Just raw chaos everywhere. And it starts with Jocelyn Jacks. Because Jocelyn is having a major close call in the ICU. She sneaks into Ross Cullum's room. She is ready to finish the job that Britt Westbourne could not do. She is standing right there over his bed, and then Cullum opens his eyes. But before anything else can happen, Lucas Jones walks in. And Lucas questions her presence there, which is totally understandable, because Jocelyn has absolutely no business being in a restricted ICU room with a high-profile WSB director who just got shot. So Jocelyn has to think fast. She has to use every single bit of that WSB training Jack Brennan gave her, and she has to lie right to Lucas's face, which is brutal, because Lucas is grieving Marco Rios. So Jocelyn spins a story. She probably tells Lucas that she knew Cullum as Matthew, the caretaker from Windermere, and she just wanted to see if he was awake to get answers about Jason Morgan. But the whole thing is just so tense, because Jocelyn knows Cullum killed Marco, and she has to stand there and comfort Lucas about Marco's death while the killer is lying in the bed right next to them. It is dark. It is so incredibly dark for Jocelyn, but she covers her tracks. She pivots. She does the damage control, and she leaves Lucas completely in the dark about her true motives, at least for now, because Cullum is still alive, and he is a ticking time bomb for everyone involved. But down the hall, there is a totally different kind of drama happening. Harrison Chase and Brooklyn Quartermain are dealing with their own nightmare. They want to be the official foster parents for Delilah Wilson's baby girl, little baby Phoebe. But the screening process has been a total disaster, especially after Wiley Corinthos asked the social worker what a hooker is, because of all the family drama with Michael and Jacinda. So Chase and Brooklyn are panicking. They are terrified that they are going to lose this baby, and they are getting way too attached. So Chase decides to pull out the big guns. He decides to seek Congresswoman Willow Kane's influence. And this is a big move, because Willow has a lot of political power right now. Chase wants her to pull some strings when it comes to sealing the deal on his foster parent status, and Willow will likely help him and Brooklyn, because Willow is a good person deep down. And she knows Chase and Brooklyn would provide a safe and loving home for that little girl, but getting attached to a foster baby is always a massive risk. Because if Delilah's family or the biological father shows up, Chase and Brooklyn are going to have their hearts completely ripped out. And it feels like the show is setting them up for exactly that kind of massive devastation. But for now, they are just fighting to keep her. Meanwhile, Jack Brennan is losing his absolute mind. He is running out of patience with everyone, and he is going to hit Carly with the harsh truth about Jason Morgan. Carly is desperate for answers. She wants to know where the WSB took Jason. She wants to know how to save him, but Brennan is going to lay it all out for her. Jason is in WSB custody. He has been extradited to a black site, and the conditions are probably horrific. Brennan is going to tell Carly that Jason might never see the light of day again, and that is going to absolutely crush Carly, because Jason is everything to her. He is her rock, and he is locked away taking the fall for a crime he did not commit just to protect Dante's kid. But Brennan is not done yelling at people, because he is going to rip into Nina Reeves later. Nina was supposed to have scored Valentine Cassidy's location from Charlotte Cassadine by now, but she is experiencing a major delay. Charlotte is fiercely protective of her father, and she is not just going to hand over his hiding spot, especially not to Nina. So Brennan is going to give Nina a final warning. He is going to remind her that he holds all the cards, and if Nina does not deliver Valentine's location immediately, Brennan is going to ruin Willow's life. He is going to expose everything. And Nina is going to be left scrambling because she is completely trapped between protecting her daughter and betraying Charlotte. And then we have Nathan West. Nathan is playing such a dangerous game right now. He is managing the Rocco cover-up from inside the PCPD. He is hiding evidence from Dante. He is getting closer to Lulu. And now he is going to deal with a mystery text. A text from an unknown source, which should make him very nervous. Because there is a huge theory going around that Nathan is actually on Jen Sidwell's payroll, and this mystery text might lead to proof that he is taking Jen Sidwell's orders. If Nathan is secretly working for the man who is terrorizing Port Charles, then Lulu is sleeping with the enemy, and the entire Rocco cover-up could be a trap. It is just a massive web of lies. And speaking of Sidwell's web, Willow is going to discover something unsettling. The spoilers say she makes a shocking realization. So, could that involve Nathan's connection to Sidwell? Or maybe another shocker instead? Willow has been under Sidwell's thumb for weeks. She has been forced to drug Drew Kane with a paralytic that mimics a stroke. She is keeping him in a locked-in state. But maybe she finds a piece of evidence that changes her entire picture of things. Maybe she realizes Sidwell is planning to kill Drew anyway. Or maybe she finds out about Nathan. Whatever it is going to blow Sidwell's operation wide open, and Willow is going to have to decide what to do with this massive piece of leverage. Over with Sonny Corinthos and Laura Collins, things are getting extremely serious. They're going to have a major strategy session. Sonny is going to propose a way to strike back against Sidwell. He wants to take the fight directly to the man who is threatening his family. Sonny is going to pitch a bold and wild strategy, but Laura is definitely going to have some reservations, because Laura is the mayor, and she is already being blackmailed by Sidwell. She knows how dangerous this man is, but Sonny has Rick Lansing on his side now. Rick is his new secret weapon, and Sonny believes that with Rick's legal maneuvering and his own mob muscle, they can actually take Sidwell down, but it is a massive risk. While all this mob war plotting is happening, there is a very real medical crisis going on. Molly Lansing Davis is admitted to GH for surgery related to her endometriosis. And this is a huge deal. The whole family is terrified. Alexis is a total wreck. Cody Bell is on edge. Molly has suffered so much trauma with her infertility and the failed surrogacy with Christina. And now she has to undergo this major procedure. Port Charles is basically holding its breath for her. But the contrast here is crazy. Because while Molly is fighting for her health in a hospital bed, Sidwell is out there making vengeful plans that could destroy her entire family. Because Sidwell is on the warpath. He is grieving Marco Rios, and he promised revenge over his son's dead body. Sidwell is going to make some vengeful plans. And there is a huge rumor that those plans involve Molly's sister, Christina Corinthos Davis. Will Sidwell target Christina or another one of Sonny's children in retaliation for what happened to Marco? Sonny isn't even responsible for Marco's demise. Ross Cullum killed Marco, but Cullum is framing Sonny, and that may not stop Sidwell from keeping his promise to avenge both Marco and Natalia Ramirez. Sidwell wants Sonny to feel the exact same pain of losing a child. And Christina is incredibly vulnerable right now. And the timing could not be worse, because the grand reopening of Charlie's Pub is on the horizon. Christina has been working so hard on this. And there is the massive potential for Sidwell to wreak havoc at this event. The week of April 6 to 10 should bring some big developments when it comes to Sidwell and the wrath he's going to unleash. A crowded pub, a grand reopening. It is the perfect target for a mob hit, and if Christina is in the crosshairs, Sonny is going to absolutely lose his mind. The violence is just escalating so fast. And nobody is safe from Sidwell's reach right now. But the most heartbreaking part of all these spoilers has to be the kids, because Danny Morgan is not letting this go. Danny may end up on the hunt for Cullum's real shooter. Since Danny will completely doubt Jason's story, Danny knows his dad. He knows Jason would never be sloppy enough to get caught shooting a WSB agent on a public pier, so Danny is going to go rogue. He may get Charlotte Cassadine to help him try to figure out who really pulled the trigger, and who Jason is actually protecting. Danny and Charlotte are going to play detective, but they have no idea what they are actually walking into. Because if Danny and Charlotte try to bring Rocco Falconeri in on their plot, that's only going to add to his guilt. Rocco is the one who shot Cullum. Rocco is the reason Jason sacrificed his freedom, and Rocco is carrying this massive, crushing secret all by himself. Well, Nathan and Lulu know. But Rocco is the one who has to look Danny in the eyes every single day. He has to watch his cousin suffer. He has to watch Danny cry over Jason being locked away in a WSB black site. And now Danny's going to ask Rocco to help him find the shooter. The irony is just sickening, and Rocco may have some close calls where he nearly cracks under the weight of all this. He is just a kid, and the psychological pressure is going to break him. And then, right in the middle of all this chaos, we get a massive return. Nathan Dean will return as Ethan Lovett sometime this April, so he'll likely be back on screen by the time the week of April 13 to 17 is underway. Ethan Lovett is coming back to Port Charles, and it'll be so interesting to see which storylines Ethan is connected to, and how his past might tie in with the present. Ethan is a rogue. He is charming. He is unpredictable. And he always brings trouble with him. But there is one specific theory that is gaining a lot of traction right now, and it has to do with the hospital. Could Ethan be the father of Delilah Wilson's baby? Delilah had a list of art galleries in her luggage. She had connections to a different world. And Ethan has been traveling the globe for years. It is entirely possible that Ethan had a fling with Delilah. And if Ethan is the biological father of baby Phoebe, that changes everything. Or could he have another reason for making this big comeback? Regardless of why he is back, Chase and Brooklyn have more baby bonding ahead. They are going to fall completely in love with this little girl. But that'll make it even more crushing if they truly have to give Phoebe up to Ethan or anyone else. The heartbreak is just waiting to happen. And the next 3 weeks are going to deliver it all.